This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When send past the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good night. The New York Knicks, with a 23-point victory over the Dallas Mavericks, they hold another team below 500, another double-digit win, another 30-point night for R.J. Barrett. Quiet is kept. The Knicks have won 8 of their last 12 games, ladies and gentlemen. They're playing good basketball. Let's hope that it continues. We're going to break this one down tonight because the Knicks are back to 500, 21-21 on the season. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. I got Tony Crow. I got Steph. And, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get this one in. We're going to break it down and talk about it. Steph, what's going on with you? How you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good, Sam. Shout out to you and Tony in the chat. Great win for the Knicks, and an all-around win. You know, it wasn't just one person going off. Everybody contributed in some way or another. The starters seem to be coming together. So that bodes well for us. And Mitch is looking great. Mitch is looking really good, very active on the boards with the putbacks. And RJ, RJ is being aggressive. Not just sitting back waiting for the offense to come to him.
Right.
He's actually taking what he wants,
right?
And I hope he keeps that energy up. He may not shoot as well. He may not score 30 points every night. That's fine. But if he continues with that consistency of aggressiveness and his approach to the game, that's going to bode well for us. So he's playing really good.
Yeah, that's exactly what we need from him. Just that. Exactly what you said, the consistency of him being aggressive, going to the cup,
right,
putting pressure on the rim.
Right.
We're even seeing now that he's being posted up, creating a double team, and then kicking it out, doing what Julius Randle normally does. And, if RJ can do that consistently, it's going to change the offense of this team and the things that are available. It's beautiful to watch because he's growing right in front of our eyes. You can see the confidence coming. They were talking about it on the telecast earlier in the season. Before he even went out, due to health and safety protocols, he wasn't feeling well. You know what I'm saying? He said he's feeling healthy right now. He's feeling good. He's looking good. He's playing good, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Crow, what's going on, man?
Yeah, man. Yo, Black, it's time. Shout out to the chat. Peace to Queen and King. Yeah, do it to me every time when I gotta go last. I wanted to talk about Mitch and RJ, but one thing you guys didn't mention, RJ, he's also being looked for, which is great to see. So not only is he taking control, but they also looking for him to go ahead and take control, which is nice to see. And then his playmaking has been crisp.
Yes.
So no turnovers, no sloppiness. It's been very crisp. But yeah, it's gonna be a good show. I'm waiting for Josh.
Josh ain't showing up tonight. Josh ain't showing up tonight. He's gonna stay away from this one. But when you play aggressive, then your teammates are going to trust you more, even if you're not making shots.
Correct.
I think if you play aggressive, they're going to trust you just a little bit more because they know that he can score the basketball. They know, he can make jump shots. They know what he can do. But, if you're not going to play aggressive, then your teammates are going to be like, okay, I guess you don't want the ball. You know what I'm saying? I'll shoot it.
Right.
Or I'll give it to someone who does want the ball. When you start to play aggressive and command your space out there on the floor, then your teammates say, okay, Here you go. I'm going to give it to you. You know, I tell it to my girls all the time. If you want the basketball, you got to clap your hands loud and yell for it. And it almost makes the person with the ball give you the ball, you know, when you demand it that way. You know, and RJ Barrett right now is, you know, he's doing it. And he's playing like he's the man on his team. And over the past few games, he has been the man on his team. And players are respecting him as such. And, you know, really, I don't know if it matters to those guys who's the man or not the man, but from the outside looking in, you know, it's looking like over the last few games that RJ is ready to take the mantle. You know what I mean? And that's just fine by me. Tony?
I wouldn't go that far. I think he has to be the number 2 still, maybe for at least another year. But he's looking like the legit number 2. Randle's gonna have to step up. You know what I mean, to be honest. But it's great. He's doing you're right. He's doing everything Randle does, and it's a lot cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
A lot cleaner.
It's looking clean.
So I hear what you're saying. But and you know what? I'm not mad if it does happen.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not even saying that.
That'd be nice.
I'm not even saying that somebody's going to anoint it to him. You know what I mean? Most of the time, your leaders on the floor don't get anointed the leader. They just become the leader, right? When Marcus Morris came to the team a couple years ago, nobody said you're the leader. He just had the overbearing personality. He was knocking down the shots. He was making the plays. He was getting it done. He was talking on the floor. He just became the leader. You know what I mean? And so I don't think anyone has to say, hey, RJ, you're the number 1 guy now. You know, it's just like, I'm doing it, and people start to defer to you because you're getting the job done. You know what I mean? And at least over these last few games, that's what we've been seeing. You know, that's what we've been seeing. You know, even Julius Randle, you know, is recognizing, hey, this kid is hot. Let me give him the rock. You seen at the end of the third quarter? Or maybe it was the end of the fourth when RJ hit his last 3 to take him over 30. You know, it looked like Julius Randle was going to dribble that ball out and take the shot. But it seemed all in his mind all along, he was like, all right, I'm going to try to attract the defense and then get RJ open. He hit RJ with the ball. He knocked down the 3. Bang. RJ even talked about it after the game when he did the post-game interview with ESPN. He said, you know, Julius gave me the ball at the end, unselfish play. And the whole team just looked unselfish tonight. You know, in the way that the ball was moving. That's one of the reasons why Mitch had 19 points, because the ball was moving, and then they find Mitch under the basket. It was pretty to watch tonight, the way that they were playing basketball.
It was.
This is great. So,
you know, I mean, what I'll say. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to point out a funny fact to me, and wanted to know if you guys noticed when Grimes kind of ignored Fournier in the corner, asking for the ball, and pulled that 3 up from the top of the key. Oh man, like I loved it.
Doris Burke said,
because it went in.
Yeah.
And I love the
confident.
It gave me quickly vibes of last year where, you know what I mean, like, I'm gonna take this shot, like, and he had to get into the spot to take it. It wasn't like he was already open in the So that we got theme music.
Here he is.
What's going on, guys? What's going on, y'all? I see people calling me out in the chat, so I had to show my face before I go to sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a good thing you did that, because people would have called you soft if you didn't. You know.
Come on, never
and only because you missed the last one when RJ had a good game, so they was asking for you.
Sam, can I get my little quick analysis of this game real quick?
Get your spiel in.
So I just want to say, RJ Barrett's playing well. He's definitely getting the ball a little bit more. Offense is running through him a little bit more. The offense looks a little bit more balanced right now with RJ Barrett as a focal point of the offense. But my question is, and it still remains, why wasn't he doing this before? All these narratives about Randle's the one getting in his way, and Tibbs is the one getting in his way, and the Knicks getting in his way. Like, the only person that was stopping RJ Barrett was him. And that was my biggest issue with it. Now it seems like, he's kind of stepped up into that role. And I think Sim was right. It took Randle going out for RJ Barrett to step up and be that aggressive kind of player. And I think he's really putting into that role really, really well. And, I think that's a good thing for this team. So tonight was just really good. The offense was moving. I don't know how many assists we had, but it seems like the ball was just moving around and everybody got a chance to touch the ball. So, right now, we're firing on all cylinders. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, Josh, I can answer that question for you. And obviously, we still need to see this be consistent, right? We've seen him have, 4 games, 5 games where he's played well and then drop off a little bit. We need to see it be consistent. And he's going to have some drop-offs and, because he's a young guy. He's 21 years old. But what you're asking is why couldn't he do it sooner? It really has to do with the same thing. He's in development. And young guys have to find their confidence. And you never know when that confidence is going to come. You know what I mean? It could be in the fourth quarter of a 30-point blowout, and this young guy does something and he realizes, oh, snap, this is what coach is saying. Or this is what I can do. And all of a sudden now, that young man is doing it from there on forth. You know what I'm saying?
I think the Knicks are a better team. The Knicks are a better team because of it. Obviously, like we were all saying, RJ Barrett, if he takes that next step, what could his team really become? And we see that, right? Randle can't be the person that's going to have the ball and score all the time, right? Somebody else has to step up. And now RJ Barrett is that guy. And perhaps RJ Barrett is now, being the main focal point of the offense, which I don't have a problem with that either. But somebody had to step up. And I'm glad it's RJ. And I think for the future of this organization, that's really, really important. That's the only thing that I was asking for the most part.
Yeah, well, right. He's stepping up now. He's playing good basketball. Again, he's got to be consistent. It's got to continue to happen. But, like you said, it does make the offense way more balanced. You don't have to just rely on Julius Randle to do some of the things that Randle was doing. You can now say, okay, let me put RJ in that position. We can let Randle rest a little bit more on the bench. And when both of those guys are in there, you can have them on either side of the floor and get the same result, right? Now you can let Randle rest in the corner while RJ posts up and kick it out and let the ball swing. Then you can let Randle do the same thing. You know what I mean? I would still like to see them two guys work off each other a little bit more, but hey, you got to continue to grow and continue to develop, as a team. And you're seeing it now. Listen, they were 4 games below 500, and they climbed back in to be 500. And they're going to have a chance to go above 500 over the next few games. So, yeah, this is looking good. And it feels so much better than how we were feeling just a few games ago when they played OKC and whoever else they played afterwards, Indiana, whatever, and they just looked bad. And it was just like, man, what's going on? And then, it felt like all mayhem was breaking loose. But, they stuck together. They're getting healthy. And now they're going to have a chance to make some things happen and put some cushion behind their record. Let me go over the box score right quick. Then we'll, start going down some of the storylines, some more storylines in the game besides RJ Barrett. 32 points for RJ Barrett, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Mitchell Robinson tonight, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, 1 steal. He didn't go over those 3.5 blocks and steals combined, but he did his job. 2 points and 1 steal in that department. Julius Randle tonight, 17 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. He didn't shoot well from the field, but he did a good job finding guys he's supposed to find. In the fourth quarter, he forced a couple of passes which created, the 5 turnovers that he had, trying to force some things to Nerlens, to Mitch under the bat, or to Quentin Grimes under the basket, created some turnovers. But for the most part, I think he played a pretty good basketball game from the floor game. Evan Fournier, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Played a decent game tonight. Alec Burks had 10 points. Quentin Grimes had 9 points. Just a good overall game from the New York Knicks. And when you look at the Dallas Mavericks, they didn't shoot well at all tonight. And they came into this game shooting very well and defending very well. right? They came into the game on a 6-game winning streak. They're leaving on a 1-game loss. I don't want to say a 1-game losing streak, but a 1-game loss. Luka, he had 21 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, but he didn't get much help from any place else. 14 points for Jalen Brunson, 13 points and 3 assists for Tim Hardaway Jr. Jalen Brunson also had 7 rebounds and 6 assists. You got Maxi Kleber had 9 points. Dwight Powell had 4. Dorian Finney-Smith had 7 points. The Mavericks held to 85 points by the Knicks tonight. So, yeah, I like this win. Really feel really good about this win. Let me get to this phone call, then we get back around. I want to talk about Mitchell Robinson. Spree, what's popping with you, man?
Sam, couple things. I think we're unlocked. We're back. They figured it out. We can now all go home and go on vacation. They figured it out.
Let's hope that they figured it out.
I think so. I mean, all the shows, it took them. Now we're going to see it. I think it's going to come together now. But all of the back and forth about RJ this, RJ that, Randle this, Randle that. Couple things. In my opinion, people will disagree. Julius Randle's screening, his passing, and his rebounding is way more important than his scoring. If Julius Randle screens hard and rolls hard, he's going to get so many open looks for other people. If he passes it the way he passed it, if he rebounds it the way he's been rebounding it, I'm fine with him getting in the 15-point range. Cool. Balanced game for everybody else. And we win.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Just what's your take on? I want to get into Mitchell Robinson a little bit. What's your take on Mitch tonight?
Dominated the game, especially in that third quarter. He looks like he's back. He looks like he's got the energy back. He's got his spring. I just think our defense, his aggression on the rim is back. Julius had a couple of nice little slip passes to him. We're looking for him. He's now, and also that's another good thing with having RJ the ball in his hands, because RJ is a little bit better than Julius too. When he gets around the corner, he can find Mitch a little more easier than Julius can. Although I give Julius some credit. He did do a good job. A couple passes. I don't know how he got in there, but he got in there. But I give Mitch credit. I give Fournier credit. He needs rhythm, and he's back. He's now a New York Knick. He's playing the way. This is what I thought I was getting from Fournier. And then this is good, Sim. The reason I think this is good is because now this is how it's supposed to work. Now people will take RJ serious. Only 2 turnovers, by the way. Last game 1, he's now got 2. Now they'll take him seriously, because if he turns the corner, it's over. Now, RJ's proving that I was wrong. Everybody, and it's not just about being wrong. He wasn't used. Now he's being used the right way. But once he turns the corner now, they have to double him. If they're not going to double, he's going to score, which is going to open up for Julius. You know?
Right.
So Julius, to me, is actually the big winner here. That's the funny part about this.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with you, Sim, who said Julius being out, we got to see RJ what it would look like, and he can handle the ball. He doesn't turn it over. He's unstoppable. And now Julius, with the whole fans thing, I think that, in my opinion, I think it's a blessing that happened. I'm past it. I think it got Randle a little motivated, a little bit back to team ball, and a little bit of a reality check. And now I think the team's gonna feast. Randle, to me, is gonna benefit from this RJ thing, not the other way around.
Oh yeah, he is. He is. When he starts knocking down his shots, he starts, shooting efficiently from the field. He'll be back to getting 22, 23, 24 points a game. Let me ask you this: in the third quarter. No, third quarter. The end of the third quarter, Julius Randle had the ball at the top of the key. 17 seconds left. He's going to do his usual one-on-one at the end of the quarter. And I'm not blaming Randle for anything here. That's what the Knicks do. And the crowd starts to cheer. Right? Mm-hmm. Was that the crowd's apology to Randle? And this thing could be put to bed.
I just think we're tough, and I think Knicks we need him. We need him badly. And regardless of who was right, who was wrong, I didn't think he did. I thought he deserved booze early in the game because what he did was wrong. I accepted his apology with the press release. Some people said, no, that wasn't a real apology. You got to say it. No, I take him at his word. Whoever wrote that, if you didn't write, whatever, he apologized. It's over. He needs to be able to roll hard and play hard for this team and play team ball. Make no mistake, we are not going anywhere without him. He's too important. He's too talented of a player. Anybody that doesn't see how Julius Randle can impact the game when he attacks is crazy. You're crazy. Right. He hasn't played well. But the fans that were hard, yeah, we got to cheer him. And when he's not playing well, yeah, we got to be on him, but we got to be fair about it. He had a great game. I thought he had a great game. He had 8 assists. He could have easily had 10. Mm-hmm. I just think this whole thing, this is not about RJ. It's not about Julius. It's about the Knicks. It's about maximizing everybody on the team. That's why I don't like this whole thing. This is RJ's team. RJ's going to get featured a lot more. He should, because RJ can handle it a little bit better, and he doesn't turn it over as much. But no, this is the Knicks. We got to stop putting these guys against each other. They're not doing it. They're rooting for each other. We got to be better about that. I'm not saying you, Sim. I'm just talking to some fans.
Absolutely.
I got you. Yeah, absolutely.
I just want us to. We're gonna feast now. I think we're gonna feast. This is why we did the whole show. You can just sit back now, Sim. You don't even have to do a show. I'm telling you. I think we're back. That's all I got, man.
I hope so, Spree. I hope we are back and ready to, take control of this second half of the season. Appreciate your call, man.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Later.
Josh.
That's my guy.
Josh.
I love Spree.
Talk to me about Mitchell Robinson.
So I think tonight, Mitchell Robinson benefited from the matchup. The Mavericks are not that big of a team inside, and I thought he was going to feast inside based on the matchup. But we've seen Mitch have these games against teams that are smaller. But when he plays teams that are bigger, his inability to score inside plus his inability to stretch the floor basically makes his team limited on offense. I think tonight Mitchell Robinson basically took advantage of the matchup against the Mavericks. He had a great game, though. Great game, as he was supposed to.
So you don't think this is something Mitchell Robinson? I mean, obviously everyone's going to have up games, down games. You don't think it's something that he can continue to replicate? And I'm not saying 10. I'm not saying 19 and 10, but right. double.
Right, yeah. I mean, listen, he's been having these double he recently, right? This isn't the first game he's had, though. I'm just looking at Mitchell Robinson for tonight's game. I think this was more of a matchup thing, right? And Mitchell Robinson, he found got back in shape, a quarter of the way into the season, right? So that definitely helped him, right? But we've seen Mitchell Robinson have these kind of games against teams that are smaller on the inside. He's going to dominate on the inside when teams are smaller. But when he's going up against bigger, beefier guys or guys who are really strong inside, I think his limited ability to stretch the floor a little bit kind of hampers the offense. Tonight, that's no issue because Dallas is not that big on the inside, right? Mitchell Robinson's going to score, no problem. And I think with the Knicks ball movement, they were able to find him on the inside to get second chance points, easy buckets down low, and he's basically automatic from within the inside. But he had a really good game tonight. Not taking anything away from him.
Yeah. Listen, his last 3 games, 11-8, 13-11, 19-10. He had a couple of games before that where he played really, really well. Active, rebounding the basketball, grabbing offensive rebounds. That's what we really need from Mitch. Tonight, 4 offensive rebounds. Against San Antonio, 4 offensive rebounds. Against Boston, 6 offensive rebounds. That's big. We need those offensive rebounds and his ability to put them back. Because even though he's not a shooter on the outside, when he's grabbing those offensive rebounds, that's still, 1, it helps to clean up missed shots. 2, it's going to make people, afraid sometimes to go out on those shooters because they don't want Mitch to get that rebound inside. You know what I mean? So they may do what Julius Randle and, see the shooter say, let me come back in here so I can help rebound in the event that he misses the shot. You know what I'm saying? So what Mitchell Robinson is providing us right now over the last 3 games has been much needed. We need him to continue to do so. Knock down his free throws, stay active, stay engaged. And, the way that the offense if the offense moves like this, the ball moves, guys hit shots, it'll open up for Mitch inside as well. You know what I mean? Tony, I know you've been championing Mitch going on a run. Jump in there.
Can I just to add to it, as of late, he's been pursuing rebounds, which that's something he didn't do early in his career either. But going after it, now we're also seeing him get it and put it on the ground and actually find somebody, rather than a lot of times that ended in a turnover with him or somebody, poking it away. He's securing the ball. He's finding people sometimes. And so he's not just getting the rebound and putting it back up. But when he does that, he's doing that strong, stronger than ever. So I think he's on his way. I kept saying, it took him a minute last year to reach this stretch. It was like a 11-game stretch before he got hurt, where he was just double-double. Sometimes it was monster numbers, but it was double-double for 11 straight games. And I think he's at that point now. So, that's I'm on the count right now. I'm counting this as 2, without, actually looking up if it's longer than that. But and I want to see how long he could keep it up.
Yeah, no doubt. Steph, any thoughts about Mitch?
Yeah, I mean, I think Mitch is coming on. I mean, I agree with Josh that, he's taking advantage of some of the mismatches. But there was a time when he wouldn't even be able to do that, where he would have the advantage and couldn't take advantage of it. So I like the way he's playing. He looks spry. He's engaged. His hands are great, because for a little while he was looking like Noel Light. But his hands are good.
50-50.
50-50, right?
You're calling 75-25.
75-25. He caught a pass like just on his fingertips and corralled it in and dunked it. He's finishing strong. He's not wobbling all over the court. He's not falling down. He's looking strong. I mean, making me think second about including him in a trade. But the thing with him is the clock usually strikes 12, and he's back to where he was before. But hopefully not. Like Tony said, it was because of the injury the last time when he was hitting his stride. So we'll see. Right.
And he hasn't been on the floor as much. And just as I say that, the highlight below shows him hit the floor, but he hasn't been on the floor as much, you know what I mean? And maybe the weight, obviously, him shedding a few pounds, getting in shape, that can affect your balance, the weight. But then maybe he's trusting his foot more too. You know what I mean? I think that goes a lot into it. When you suffer an injury, you're still a little bit shaky. Is my foot going to hold up? What happens if I land on it a little bit wrong? And he might have been going down because he was like, I'm going to just fall just to make sure. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather fall and look embarrassed than, break my foot. Now maybe he's trusting it a little bit better because he's jumping higher. He's jumping with more aggression. Yeah, if he continues to play like this, I mean, it just, when he gets one of them monster dunks under the basket, it just sparks everything, especially when you're at home, right? It sparks everything. What's that? The Knicks won at home 5 in a row now.
Yeah,
6, 5 in a row. Yeah,
5, 6 in a row. Yeah, it sparks everything, and I'm even seeing him tonight. There were a couple of times when he started making his move to the basket before he even had the ball in his hands. To me, that shows confidence. Like, he's still out here grabbing the pass now, but he's stepping to the basket. He did that on a couple of spins. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from Mitch right now, and I hope he can continue, man.
Yeah.
Sim, the last game he did a little around the back dribble before giving an outlet pass off of a steal. So we seeing some new stuff from him. I can't even lie. Obviously we're not gonna see the jump shot that everybody wants. Right. Well, not even saying once, but once from someone at that position. Right. I don't know if you guys even want it from Mitch, but yeah, I like what he's doing, man. I really think he's gonna be on a nice stretch right now, and we're gonna need it. It's gonna shore up a lot of the defense that has been coming along lately.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of that, I was glad to see Nerlens Noel out there. The second unit looks different with Nerlens Noel out there. Just his ability, his length, his ability to affect shots. I think maybe did he have 2 blocks tonight? Nerlens Noel.
Maybe.
Yeah, 2 blocks tonight. He grabbed 6 rebounds, scored 4 points. His ability to defend off of the screen and roll. And I love Taj Gibson and what he brings, but I feel like that second unit just looks different with either Nerlens Noel or Mitch there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been either or throughout the year. Right now, of course, looks like Mitchell Robinson is going to remain the starter and Nerlens Noel is going to come off the bench. But that second unit looks better. Tonight, they weren't as good defensively as we've seen them. They were a little bit shaky at some points during the game, but I think he's going to help to shore up the defense in that second unit, and give us more shot blocking. And when Mitch goes out, you're not wondering, okay, what are we going to do? You're going to come in with another shot blocker. That really helps to shore up our defense, which, by the way, like I said earlier, held another team to below 100 points, this time 85. And the Dallas Mavericks came in shooting the ball well.
Yeah.
The Knicks held them to 85. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Mitchell Robinson has also improved as a screener. His screening has gotten much better. We've seen him set those screens for Fournier, and Fournier has a lot of open space to knock those shots down. So I think Mitchell Robinson deserves some kudos with that. And I think that's another important part of having him in the starting lineup now, because before in the starting lineup, he wasn't screening that well. Right, offensively, we already know he's limited, and he wasn't being able to pull down those rebounds or score on the inside effectively. Now he's doing all of that, so I think he's worked his way back up into the starting unit, and I think the starting unit can definitely use him if he's going to continue to do those things.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks beat the Mavericks 108-85. The Knicks had 54 rebounds on the night. The Mavericks 39. Right, that's a big key. Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle dominate the boards. Mitchell Robinson had his 10 rebounds. Julius Randle, what do you have? 12 rebounds.
12, yeah.
On the night. You know what I mean? You get 22 rebounds from those 2 guys. Yeah, that's great. That's exactly what you need. We need to continue to dominate those boards. 24 assists tonight for the Knicks. Right? The Knicks came into this game over the last 5, averaging like 19.8 assists per game. All right, the Dallas Mavericks came into the game averaging 27 assists a night. They only had 16 on the night. 5 steals for the Mavericks, 4 for the Knicks, 4 blocks for the Knicks, 2 by Nerlens Noel, 1 by Mitchell Robinson. 2 by Mitchell Robinson, I'm sorry. 2 blocks for the Mavericks, 12 turnovers for the Mavericks, only 8 for the New York Knicks, 5 of them by Julius Randle. But I'm going to forgive those turnovers because some of them were him really trying to make some plays. Maybe they were ill-advised, pass to Nerlens Noel, which, 30-70, he's going to catch that joint. You know what I'm saying? And then he tried to wrap something around to Quentin Grimes. A couple of plays in the fourth quarter that, were probably ill-advised. But 8 turnovers for the New York Knicks. The Mavericks, 41% from the field. The Knicks, 47.6%. The Knicks shot 44% from the 3-point line tonight, and the Mavericks only 21.6%. And the Knicks actually shot 80% from the free throw line tonight. Man, we've had so many nights where the Knicks are shooting terrible from the free throw line. I'll take 80%. They made 80% of their free throws tonight. The Mavericks made 68.4% of their free throws. The Knicks, 50 points in the paint. The Mavericks, 38. Second chance points, Dallas 10, New York 11. And on fast break points, the Knicks had 8 and Dallas had 9 fast break points tonight. Great game. Overall good game from the Knicks. Steph, what do you think about the Knicks defense lately?
I think the Knicks defense has been pretty good. I mean, I think they've been more engaged on the defensive end. I think early in the season, it was lapses and just staying with it. You could see that with Randle. You could see that in Fournier. But tonight and the past few games, pretty much 48 minutes, fighting through screens, staying engaged, as Tony could say, being feisty on defense. So I like what I'm seeing. It was interesting. I read an article, and Tibbs he doesn't think the defense is that bad. He doesn't go by defensive rating. He goes by interior defense and opposing field goal percentage. And the Knicks have been in the top 5. So for him, he feels like the defense is not that far off, but the offense has just been a mess. I mean, to me, prior to these last few games, they haven't looked that great defensively, but we're coming along. I'm encouraged by this team.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, when you look at the Knicks, we looked at the numbers the other night. And for the season, the Knicks are holding teams to 105 points per game. I was surprised at that. And they're in the top 6 in the opponent's field goal percentage. I was surprised at that as well, for the season. Now, over the last 12 games, they've held a number of teams below 100 points. Some teams below 90 points, as we've seen tonight. Now even in losses, they've held some teams below 100 points. So, and this has been a good stretch, dating back to the middle of December, that they've been holding teams to low scoring nights. It's just that the Knicks haven't been, everything is, it's crazy with Knicks fans. Everything, I guess, is always worse than it really is, because since December the 13th, for the last 30 days, the Knicks have really played winning basketball, but it doesn't feel like it.
Right.
It doesn't. It doesn't feel like it. Look, they gave up 105 points to the Warriors on December the 14th. Right, 105 points to the Warriors. They held the Rockets to 103. They did give up 114 to the Celtics, but then they held Detroit to 91. They held Atlanta to 87. They held Minnesota to 88. Then they held Detroit to 85. OKC to 85. They gave up 120 to Toronto, but they held the Pacers to 94. They kept Boston to 105. That's okay. Then they lost to Boston, where they only scored 75, but Boston only scored 99. They kept the Spurs to 96, and they kept the Mavericks tonight to 85. That's not too shabby. And this is dating back to mid-December. So hopefully that Knick defense has turned the corner, and if so, if the offense continues to do what it's been doing, maybe we got something. You know what I mean? Maybe we got something. Big shout out to CL Kenrick. Thank you for the super chat. He said 32 points for bad man Barrett, 19 for Robinson, and 17 for Julius Randle. Go New York, go New York, go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Those are the type of numbers we want to see. Cornerstone Kev, what's going on with you, man?
Hey, I feel great. And I know all y'all are happy that my boy didn't score 30.
Let's talk about Frank. Let's talk about Frank for a second. Let's talk about Frank.
He didn't even get it until the end.
Let's talk about Frank.
90% less than he only scored 3.
But
I guess he's still situational.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he was getting some burn early in the season, but I guess he's still situational. And Kev, I think you might need to go into StreamYard and check your audio settings and put it on the right mic. If you plug your mic in and out, you might have to change it every now and again. But one of the things, and I was talking to my daughter about this, and this signifies to me why the mindset of Frank Ntilikina, right? Just scared to take chances. He's kind of like Obi a little bit, right? He really is a system guy. The last play of the game, he comes down. It's him and Kevin Knox. They know each other. They're friends, right? your team is losing. No one's going to get mad if you take the shot, and instead he just stops. Right? I think most other player would have been like, you know what, I'm going to go one-on-one with Kevin Knox. I'm going to try to get me another point before this night is over. You know, Frank Ntilikina, he says, the game is over. He stops, you know, doing the good boy thing. And I think that's one of the things that stopped Frank Ntilikina from achieving, you know, his potential, or reaching his potential, not achieving, but reaching his potential. You know, is that kind of attitude. You know, he got a nice cheer tonight from the fans when he knocked down the 3, though.
Are you saying he's not a dog too?
He wants to be a dog too, but he doesn't always show that dog mentality. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't always show that dog mentality. What you say, Kev? I didn't hear you.
Guys, I apologize. He made a living. He made a living, you know, here. So, I mean, he got another job. So, I mean, people had him already packed and going to France, and he got, you know, got a step with Dallas. So, you know, he made his money. So.
Sounding a little depressed, Cab. You good?
No, heck no, because I feel great. I feel great. I know y'all probably talked about it, but RJ,
RJ.
Yeah, we talked about RJ.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about.
We talked about Randle. So
Frank.
talk about somebody we didn't talk about yet. I know you're just getting in, but you're late to the party. So you got to talk about someone we didn't talk about yet.
You talk about Mitch?
Yep.
Okay. Did you talk about Fournier?
No. Go ahead.
No.
Well, I'll talk about
Dig
Fournier.
in.
He looks more comfortable, and this is what I think Tony was looking for in him, because we were making up excuses for him and everything. I think now he feels comfortable, you know, with the team. He's got a great rapport now with Randle. Randle's looking for him left and right, and I'm liking what I'm seeing of him. He's still, as my co-host says, he's still the hip rider, but at least he's making more of an effort on the defensive end. So, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I mean, yeah, he's not as good defensively, but at least he's hitting shots now. There was a time where he couldn't play defense and he wasn't hitting shots as well. So now he's starting to, you know, he looks like he's in rhythm, and I liked what I saw tonight.
Yeah, but you know what else he's doing over the last few games is rebounding the ball. Right? Against Boston, when he had 41, he had 8 rebounds. Against San Antonio, he had 5 rebounds. Tonight, he had 5 rebounds. And this is exactly what we need. If you're not going to hit shots, find something else to do. Versus San Antonio, he only had 9 points, but he also had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. You know, that was one of my biggest things. It was like, yo, you're not hitting shots, but you're not doing anything else. He's doing some other things out there on the floor, and that's great. That's what we need. You know what I mean? So, you know, hopefully he continues to do that. I do think I don't know if the Knicks are doing anything different. I really just think he's finding a rhythm. He's comfortable, you know, shooting the ball. He's more
5 for 9 tonight, 2 for 4 from 3. Like, that's efficient basketball.
Right.
Exactly.
You don't have to do too much. You don't have to score 20. You know, 13 points and shoot efficient.
Yeah,
it's not necessary. It's not just like you just said, be efficient. That's all we're asking you to do is be efficient.
Yeah, he's not, you know, he's not hesitating. He's not thinking about, should I take this shot? Should I not take the shot? I think I seen him once in the third quarter pull up from really deep. Right, I wasn't even mad at the shot. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, this is the type of shooting. You know, we wanted this kind of threat from you. You know, coming to this team. You know what I mean? That guy, you know, obviously we had Quickly, but another guy in that starting unit that can, you know, catch the ball and just launch it up there. Now, he didn't hit the shot, but, you know, this is what we needed from him, and he's starting to give it. And I think it's because he's not thinking as much out there. He's just letting it go. When he feels like he has the shot, he's letting it go. You know?
Yep.
And I will say, I think other guys are beginning to trust him a little bit more. That goes a long way. That goes a long way.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, Steph, any thoughts about Fournier?
Yeah, I never thought Fournier was as bad as everyone said he was. I mean, he was definitely underperforming, but I didn't think he was terrible. I always thought that he could be the player he is now. So I like the way he played. I'm encouraged by him as well. This guy can score on all three levels. He can, he could play make a little bit. He can rebound a little bit. He's not an elite defender, but he's not a trash defender either. If he's engaged on the defensive end and aggressive offensively, he can definitely help us. So now you got him on the wing being aggressive. You got RJ on the other wing being aggressive. Yeah. That definitely helps us. So yeah, I like the way he played tonight.
Yeah, that does.
And
That
then
helps.
the shooters are confident right now too.
And I do want to say, I think the way Fournier and RJ are playing, to me, crushes the narrative that the offense was holding them back.
Exactly.
Another player was holding them back. RJ had good games early in the season. Fournier had good games against Boston with the same offensive sets. So I think they're both, like you're saying, just rounded in the shape, feeling more comfortable in the offense. And I think that's the big difference.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chemistry, Sam. That's your favorite subject, right? Chemistry.
Hey, listen, man. I talk about it a lot. Chemistry. Chemistry can go a long way.
Yeah.
Chemistry can really go a long way in the way that your team performs. Just knowing. A lot of people don't get it. I talk about it all the time. Knowing each other's tendencies changes the way that you look at your basketball game. If I know that Steph is going to launch a three when she gets it, I'm going to position myself to rebound. When I don't know that, I'm still out here looking for the ball. So now I'm not in rebounding position. Those little things help your team out so much when you know what your teammate is going to do and you know what their tendencies are. Now you can position yourself in the right spot to be successful in whatever that form of success is at that moment, either to catch the shot, catch a pass for a shot, get yourself in rebounding position, get back on defense, whatever it is, you understand what that player is going to do. You know what I'm saying? And you understand each other's defensive limitations. So after you go through the little grumblings of, man, this guy don't play defense, what's going on, you get over that. Now you know what, let me be in help position because he might get beat. So let me be here. Now I know I got to get back out on my guy quick too. You know what I'm saying? And everybody knows that. So, you start to grow that way as a team.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's more of a reason why I think the front office might keep this same group of guys, this core group of guys together next season.
I was
because there's no real true rush, I think, for them to do any type of moves because I think they see the same thing that Sim sees and what Tibbs sees. That's why Fournier was still out there playing. That's why he didn't go to the bench. And that's why I think that they're going to be together next year, barring anything crazy.
Even Rose and
Kemba?
Yeah, Rose and Kemba.
Probably make a point guard change. But I think for the most part, the core, like the RJ, the Randle, the Fournier, I think that core group of guys that we have on the team right now are probably going to come back next season.
Yeah, I think Rose will be here. I'm not sure about Kemba. Josh, something I always tell my players, for every team that at the beginning of the season, we go through this thing I call forming, storming, norming, and performing. Right? And it's 4 stages of a group or a team developing. You form, obviously, that's you coming together, and then you go through a storming stage. And when you go through that storming stage, that's kind of everybody learning their roles. What is my role on this team? What is the hierarchy on this team? All of those type of things. And then once you figure that out, then you go to a norming stage. Well, now it's normal, and you get it. You understand what everybody is going to do. And then once you really understand that and you grasp it, then you move on to the performing stage. Now you're performing. You're starting to perform as a team. Let's hope. I'm hoping that we got past that storming stage and we're moving into the norming stage. That's what I'm hoping. Go ahead, Kev.
Okay, so taking what you just said, taking that mentality, what you just said, would you say that success came to us a little bit too quickly? Because remember, we had a 5-game cushion. Last year, we didn't have that 5-game cushion. We were starting out from behind, right from the gate. This year, we had a we had a 5-game cushion, and because of COVID and whatever, it just evaporated.
I
and
would
now
say, I would
okay,
say it came to the fans too quickly. Because I'm not gonna lie, at the beginning of the season, we were 5-1. I was like, oh snap, we might crush 50 wins. I'm not gonna lie about it. And then all of a sudden, whoop, it started going downhill. So I think it came to the fans too quickly. Maybe not to the team. I mean, maybe it did. But I think they understood that there were things that they weren't comfortable with. I think the players probably understood that, and there's still some things that they're not comfortable with.
But the game we saw that we went to, I thought that we had it together. The reason why I say that is because I know it's only preseason, but it seemed like everything was gelling for us. And then that first game, we win double overtime, but it's still a win. And then the next game, we go down to Orlando and beat the snot out of them. And then we come home expecting to win that game. Okay, we don't win it.
Right, but you know what, Kev? At this point in the season, you had kind of abandoned NBK just a little bit, just a tiny bit. But on the show, right? What we were saying on the show is, hold on, Kev. What we were saying on the show is, it is great that the Knicks are winning while they're still learning how to play together. Because we could see that they're not playing the best together. There's some things that's not there. And while they're figuring that out, they're still winning ball games. And so we were really, really encouraged. You know what I mean? But, if you're not here, you're not checking in, you don't know those things.
I cannot help it if I'm Hollywood, okay?
Okay.
Hollywood cat.
That's my only another nickname. That's my only recourse for what you just said and everything.
Okay.
Because you're right.
Okay. Let me ask you guys. Oh, Tony, you was getting ready to say something. I thought you had you was about to say something.
If I did, I lost it. I'm having a good time in the chat.
All right. If the Knicks continue to play like this, how do you feel about the trade deadline? Are you still looking to try to make a move at the trade deadline? Or like last year, the Knicks stood pat. They picked up Derrick Rose, but after that, they basically stood pat.
If you can get I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
So at the deadline, obviously if there's nothing big there, I just want the Knicks to try to acquire something to get them some cap space this offseason. I don't like the fact that we don't have any money to, go out in free agency and pick up anybody. So I want them to probably give up a couple assets for an expiring contract, somebody that's coming off the books this year, so we can be able to make some room. Because I really like Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson looks so as a point guard, so crafty. And he's unrestricted this year, but I'm not saying it just for him. But I think, if anything, I think we just need to create some cap space just so that we can leave ourselves open the opportunity to improve via free agency.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Any thoughts about the trade deadline if we continue to play like this? And I'm not saying, every game's not going to be exactly like this, but you know what I'm saying.
Right. I mean, I think this is tough. I wouldn't be averse to making some tweaks if it's going to help us this year and next year. Next year going forward. It's a small sample size of us playing well. I hope we've hit our stride and we're going to continue, like you said, Sim. But even if we continue, we're still going to need a point guard. Right? Yeah, even if Fournier, RJ, Randle, Mitch play the way they continue to play, we're still going to need a point guard.
Yeah. I agree with that 100%. We're still going to need one. I don't know if we're going to find one at this year's deadline. I just don't know where it's at or who it is, Rajon Rondo was with Cleveland. He was one guy who I thought you could pluck. And he come in and give you, some valuable experience and veteran leadership. I just don't know who we're going to be able to pluck. You know what I mean? The next guy that I would be looking at, and I know he's not the quintessential facilitator, but if I was bringing in another guard that was going to play that point guard position, that might or could be available, not making a whole lot of money, I'd be looking at Pat Beverley. I just think what he brings is what we need as far as that leadership, that toughness, that dog mentality. I don't feel like we have it on this team, and I think he could really, really, really bring that and take this team someplace else. I would love to get Pat Beverley on this team. So I just think we need someone with that mentality. I don't think we can get him. I don't think Minnesota's looking to move him because he's doing that same thing there.
Damn, yeah.
You know? But, man.
He's also unrestricted at the end of the season, so it's a possibility.
Yeah. You know, I mean, he's not someone I would be relying on as my starting point guard for the next 3 years. You know, I just want that mentality because I don't think we have it on this team.
Okay, so a couple of things.
The other thing.
No, go ahead, Steph. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Ladies first.
The other thing I would add is the playoffs is a different animal. So even if, you know, we're playing well and we're gelling, when we get to the playoffs, I would just feel more comfortable if we had some players on this team that had playoff experience. And, you know, I guess we could say this will be the second year for Randle and RJ and those guys, but I would feel more comfortable if we got another player or two that had some playoff experience because it's just a different animal.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
It's Sim. As far as Pat Beverley, do you think? Tell me if this is a negative or a positive for him, right? Because you know, a lot of us want a good, adequate point guard to kind of take the ball out of Randle's hands and kind of man the decision making more. But I think with Pat Beverley, he's going to bring a dynamic. It's not going to be that.
Nope.
But he could be a fit because he doesn't need the ball, and Randle and RJ now could still man that you know, decision making and things of that nature. But he brings a good defensive dog leader type mentality. But are you concerned with the fact that it doesn't get the ball out of these guys' hands? Or do you think if RJ is stepping up, that kind of
negates
lessens? I want to say negate, but lessens the need of a floor general point guard.
Yeah, if RJ continues to do what he's doing, and you know we're able to run some of the offense through him, then I think it lessens it. I don't think it negates it because I still think you're going to need it, especially when the playoffs come. You know, because RJ's only experienced a few playoff games. You know, when you really start getting tight, you need that floor general out there. But with Pat Beverley, obviously he doesn't bring that type of floor leadership and generalship out there on the floor. But if we can't find it anywhere, and if he were to be available, and I don't think he's going to be, but if we couldn't find it anywhere, I would say, you know what, I'll bring him in because of the mentality. And he has that playoff experience. He's been deep in the playoffs before. He knows what the playoffs is all about. And yes, so does Derrick Rose. You know, I'm not saying that he doesn't. But, you know, Pat Beverley is just another guy that can bring that type of mentality. And he's going to be more vocal than Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, quiet. Pat Beverley's going to be vocal. And guess what? Everybody on the team is going to respect him. You know what I mean? You know, that's why I wouldn't mind bringing him in. I wouldn't be looking at him as the long-term floor general, but I'd bring him in for those reasons if he were to be available.
Okay.
And so we can find our floor general.
Exactly.
Sorry, Cal.
Okay. All right. So listening to everybody, I got a couple questions I need to ask. So I'm assuming that y'all are not sold on Deuce McBride.
Not yet.
Not as a starter.
Not yet. Gotta give him some time.
Okay, so you say time. So you say marinate, or you say give him time. Is time? Are we talking next year? Is that what we're talking about? Or are we talking about the year after?
Whenever
we can be patient for once with some of these young guys.
Okay,
we can be patient and let them become who they're gonna become. Don't rush them. You know what I mean? Let them get the opportunities they get, and try to produce during those opportunities. And then, you know, they may not get one for a little while, but they got to be ready, stay ready, and the cream. What you say, Queen? The cream always rises to the top. If they're gonna get there, it's gonna be shown in their work, and they'll get there. They're not gonna be held back. It's none of that going on.
Okay. So when we're looking at this, where Grimes is ready, you don't think McBride is ready yet?
No. When you say ready, Kev, he's ready for his little piece, for his little role that he has.
Right.
You know, we talking about we need a starting point guard on a playoff team.
Okay.
I don't think McBride is ready for that.
He's not ready.
He's not even in the rotation.
Yeah, he's not ready for that. He's not ready.
It just puzzles me that they'll assign him to the G League and he'll, bust out for 37.
It just lets you know who's in the G League.
It's not the same.
It just lets you know who's in the G League right now. That's all. And it's letting you know that the G League, one, because a lot of players are in the NBA on 10-day contracts. The G League is not that competitive right now that he can play in an NBA game, and what's the highest that he scored? 11, 12, right?
Yeah.
Score 11, 12 points. That's the highest he scored in an NBA game. Other nights didn't score at all, and he played a few minutes.
Okay.
And he goes down to the G League just one game and scores 39. That lets you know the level of competition that's in the G League right now.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. Okay.
You know what I mean?
So if I'm understanding y'all, he's not ready now, but in the future he will.
Maybe.
Yeah, he has potential. Yeah, he has potential, Kev. I think he has a lot of potential. Like, you see some of the things that he does when he does get his little minutes out there, like at the end of the game, the lob to Obi, like that vision to see Obi come in baseline and hit him for that lob. So you know that there's potential there, but what we're talking about as far as starting point guard on a playoff team, I think there's levels to it, and McBride is just not there yet. But in the little minutes that he does get at the end of the game, spot minutes there and there, if he continues to perform, I think his role will increase at that point gradually over time, and then he'll continue to adapt, and hopefully maybe one day he becomes a starting point guard on the playoff team, but just not right now.
Yeah, and you can't put a time limit on it either. You can't put a time limit on it. And Kev, people in the chat's calling you Disney Kev. Forget Hollywood Kev. They say Hollywood Kev.
Well, that's a compliment.
Big baller for real. And he says that with a Mickey Mouse hoodie when you called yourself Hollywood Kev. He says that with a Mickey Mouse hoodie on.
I have no shame in loving the mouse, so I'm not worried about it. It's Disney, Knicks, and Steelers. Oh, by the way, my Steelers are in the playoffs, so there you go. But to answer your original question, when you're talking about the training deadline, two things. One, I am for standing pat, but there's only one player that I want, and he's playing for Atlanta right now, and that's Cam Reddish. So if we could do whatever when I say whatever, I don't mean trading all the young people the pieces for Cam Reddish, but if you could find a way to get him here.
You gotta think it through, though, Kev.
Without giving up a player or a draft pick, it's impossible.
Yeah,
Kev. We have to give him.
Well, yeah, I'll give up a player. I'll give up a couple of players.
So who you giving up? Who you giving up? Come on, go ahead. Let it out the bag. Who you giving up?
All right, I'll give up a Knox and a Fournier, and two second rounds, or a first and a second.
Okay. Cam, what has Cam Reddish done? I mean, I see the potential, but I mean, come on.
Okay.
Kevin Knox in the first round pick. I think that'll get the job done.
Yeah.
Okay.
And look, I know the other day when G-Mo was on the show, we were talking about Cam Reddish and we was talking about, moving Fournier for Cam Reddish. And me,
doesn't make any sense.
I just don't think. I think that Evan Fournier, and we know he's played bad throughout the season, but his experience in the NBA, I think, is more valuable to us than Cam Reddish's inexperience in the NBA. And I know Cam Reddish has a lot of talent, and he may turn into be something one day. But I don't want to move on from Evan Fournier for him right now. You know what I'm saying? Not right now. I don't think he's gonna come. I think he'll come in and be inconsistent as well. And then we got to bring back Danilo Gallinari too, or something like that, because you got to make the salaries match. No, I'm not doing that. And then you still got to pay Cam Reddish the next year, right? So you gave up all of that, and you brought in Danilo Gallinari and his $18 million, and you got to end up paying Cam Reddish $10 to $15 million. Now, you're basically paying $30 million for Cam Reddish because you probably really don't.
I don't have a problem with the trade. I just have a problem with the timing of it. I just don't like it right now. I have a problem with it.
I have a problem with it because I feel like you're now committing. I don't know how long Gallinari's contract is, but I feel like you're now committing $18 million to Gallinari and then probably $10 to $15 million to Cam Reddish.
Gallinari's expiring next year, so we can take him off the books the same time you take off Burks and the rest of them. That's why I like Gallinari's contract. I don't have a problem with it. Right now in the middle of the season, I don't like it for the Knicks.
Yeah.
I'll say this.
I'd stay cool
If this avoids us putting picks involved, I think it's an interesting trade because that means we still have assets to make a bigger move later. If we did that move without giving up a pick, I think Gallinari's contract is movable, and it gives up a large chunk of whatever salary we're trying to match on a bigger deal. You know what I mean? So I like it in that sense.
I don't see how Atlanta makes that deal without taking on the pick because Fournier's contract's longer. Gallinari and Reddish's contract are shorter. So they will want to, take a pick back and then make them entice them. So I just don't understand why the whole thing with Cam Reddish came up anyway. I don't know where that came from because Fournier and Cam Reddish's money don't match up at all. I don't understand. In the last show I'm talking about, I don't get where that came from.
Well, because someone said, would you trade Evan Fournier and whoever draft picks, et cetera, for Cam Reddish and Danilo Gallinari? Right? Because Gallinari is what would make the money match. Gallinari makes $20 million this year and $21 million next year.
He's expiring though.
Right, so expiring in 22-23. Cam Reddish, his contract is Cam Reddish's contract expires in 2023 as well. So then you have to make a decision then. So you're right. You wouldn't be putting that much money into Gallinari and Cam Reddish because their contracts would expire at the same time. And then.
But for the Knicks, the only reason you make that deal is to get the expiring contracts and to extend Reddish. No. I mean, he's a young player.
Right. I'm not saying no. That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't be paying Gallinari and Cam Reddish $20 million and $13 million at the same time. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Right. So.
Can I say this though?
I don't know.
I'm not sure about the fascination with Cam Reddish. I mean, I get that he's 6'8". He can shoot the three. He has the potential as a scorer. You're not getting rebounding. You're not getting assists. You're not getting steals. And he's another player on this team that you got to hope develops the way we need him to develop. Right. And we got those players. We got Obi. We don't know who we got. IQ, McBride, Grimes. You could throw RJ in there, even though he's coming into his own now. You could throw Mitch in there. We got 6, and we haven't even mentioned Knox. 7 players that we don't know who we really have, and we're gonna add somebody else. I just think that we need some veterans on this team. Some young veterans.
I got one more. That's
why. Hold up, Kev. That's why I think, like Josh said, Kevin Knox and the pick makes the most sense because he could fill in right where Knox is under contract.
But Knox isn't in a rotation.
Knox is nowhere.
Yeah, he's not.
Not even in the rotation.
What I'm saying is. He's going to get more of a chance than Knox. Like, Knox is gone. He's coming off the books. We're not going to be able to use his salary for anything else anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now it's just kind of getting a player for a guy who we're going to lose and not be able to use.
Yeah, but Tone, I think the concern is where do you play him? Yeah, where do you put him in the rotation? That's the concern I have about.
Again, the cream always rises. So if he earns his way up, that's fine. It's not like he's gonna demand playing time. It's not like he's gonna be in a similar situation that he's in now. But to me, it's a better player than Knox. If
but
Knox
giving
was
up
a better
first round draft pick to have him sit in Knox's position, I just think we can make better use of a first round draft pick.
I said a pick. I didn't say first. But
that's what it's gonna take.
That's what it'll take. That's what it'll take for that. I think
we need to get rid of some of these young people anyway. In my opinion, I don't think we need to keep all 6 of our young guys. I do think we need to start trading some of them. I know this is blasphemy for some people. Don't have a heart attack, and start getting some young vets. So trading Knox for Cam Reddish, we still have 7 young players that we're waiting to develop. That's a lot.
I agree. I'm just saying, if he's still a defensive guy, potentially, you know what I mean? I think he's a better player than Knox. So have a better player in Knox, guess what? It puts more pressure on Obi. If Obi ain't getting it done, you might see Reddish get some minutes. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying for a definitive role, but it's under contract for another year. We lose Knox for nothing. We can't spend that money anywhere else.
Exactly.
So why not, you know what I mean, have somebody in its place with, I think, more potential. Also has a friendship with RJ. They may click at some point and play well together. So I don't know. I think it's not a bad idea, but it's putting Fournier in there makes no sense. He's not ready to replace him production-wise, even on a down year from Fournier. Like, you know what I mean?
If you get in a player like Cam Reddish, you're really not thinking about right now anyway. It's all about the future and what these guys are going to become.
Yeah. I agree.
You can look at it either way, and I think by taking Fournier out, that opens up a spot in the rotation potentially for Reddish. So
I mean, the rumor out there is that the Knicks are interested, and I think personally, if you're interested in a player and you make a move to bring a player in, you probably have your mind set on playing that guy. You know what I'm saying? Because you made a move. Because you made a move for that player. You're like, I'm probably, and I'm not talking about a guy you picked up that wasn't playing on a team. I'm talking about a guy that's playing and right now starting for another team, and you make a move for him. You're probably like, yeah, we plan on playing this guy. So I think that means one of our rotation guys is who gets moved.
That's what I think. And I was gonna say he could potentially replace Grimes' minutes. If they see him as a more valuable player,
more dynamic player,
you know what I mean, and so it may be looking at appeasing RJ as well. So I don't see it as far fetched. I'm not even. I think he has more potential than Grimes. Grimes is playing very well for us right now. So and he's in the rotation, so he could still get minutes that way. You know what I mean? So I don't see it as a far-fetched thing.
But I want to touch a little bit on what Stephanie just said. You're talking about our young guys that you wouldn't mind doing away with one of them.
I didn't say or more.
What did you say?
One or more. One
or more. See, that's what I have a problem with, because we got these young guys. Finally, because usually we didn't. We would always trade our picks for veterans that really didn't do much for us. Now that we have these young guys who I believe can be our core, I'm just not ready to give them up. Josh,
we're on a different time. Kev, it's about timeline. That's all. It's about timeline. If we didn't have Randle and we were building around the young people, absolutely. Keep all of them. See who develops. I think the front office has already made a decision. They signed Randle to that extension unless they trade him and then go in a different direction. You hired Tibbs as a coach. That's telling me that you're trying to win right now. I'm not saying you got to make risky moves, but if you're trying to win right now before Tibbs becomes 85, you're going to have to trade in some of these chips for players that can play now. I'm not saying everybody, but you're going to have to trade in some.
That's the way the game goes, Kev. That's the way the game goes. You can't keep all
Cornerstore. All right, so listen. What happened with Brooklyn? They traded away Jarrett Allen and all these other guys for Durant and to able to sign Durant and all like that. Have they gotten any closer with that interior not being as
Oh,
strong?
Kev, they championship
contenders.
And they traded Allen with those guys there already. So that
They
don't
let
even.
go him. They let go Levert. They let go who else? D'Angelo Russell.
They are championship contenders.
Listen, and Allen was let go while he played with Durant, Kyrie, and Harden.
He went in the Harden trade. No, he went in the Harden trade.
Went in the Harden trade. Okay,
Right, he did. Yeah.
Well, he played with Durant and what's the name?
They championship. They might have a little hole in the middle, but they championship contenders.
Yeah, okay. Just get rid of
No, not that. You being
I'm not trying to say
Kev, you bugging out, Kev. You bugging out right now, Kev.
All right. So the other person I want to get, and similar like this. What about Terrence Ross? Any interest in that? In Terrence Ross?
I would like Terrence Ross. I would like Terrence Ross. I mean, the same question is going to be asked. Where is he playing to? Right? Because where is he playing to? You're not just going to give up Kevin Knox in a first round draft pick, a guy that's not in a rotation, and then you got another log jam. You know what I'm saying? Because we're talking about Quentin Grimes, who's playing now, but when Derrick Rose comes back, he's going to play.
Mm-hmm. And I don't like Russ more than Burks. I think Burks has been too valuable, and I've seen what he's done for us.
I would like both of them.
Yeah,
me too.
I would like to have both of them. Grimes would come out of the rotation.
Yeah, but Sim said, Grimes is playing. His minutes is kind of coming on the back of Rose not being here, I think. Yeah. And remember, Kemba's not here right now as well. So, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't know if Grimes. He could play his way into staying in the rotation, but when these guys come back, I think Tibbs is going with what he know, what he trusts, what he used to.
Kev, in other words, the lesson of the day: pick your poison. It's either you hold on to these people and don't make any trades or don't do anything substantial for a person like Terrence Ross, Cam Reddish, or something like that, or you let go some of your fish so we'll get a bigger one. Pick your poison, and that's what the front office is doing every single day. They're picking their poison.
Right.
It's all right, Kev. Guess what? Hey, Kev, guess what? Can I tell you something? Every single year, rookies coming to the league. The Knicks got their draft picks. They're gonna draft another rookie. They're gonna pick up some undrafted guys out of the G League. Every single year is gonna be some young guys that come to the league. You can't keep all of the super young guys. Think about this, Kev. Let's say that this roster remains totally intact. Totally intact. We have a draft pick coming this year. What happens to that guy? Where's it go? Right? Who's it sit on the end of the bench because Kevin Knox is no longer here? Where's he go? What are we doing with him?
Why don't you just keep developing? And I just saw it in the chat here. The guy made a great point. Keep developing and just draft wisely. That's all.
For what purpose, though? What's the end game?
Kevin want to win a championship. He don't want to win no championship.
I do want to win a championship, but I want to do it the right way.
What is the right way?
What's the right way?
What's the right way?
What's the wrong way?
And a lot, I can't believe y'all are talking like this because
what's the wrong way?
Wait a minute.
You think the way the Lakers did it was the wrong way?
Forget it.
I'm just asking. Do you think the way the Lakers did it was the wrong way?
And what's going to happen now? They got a championship, and that's probably going to be the only one for the next few years.
I'll take it. I'll take that joint, Kev. We ain't had one since 72. I'll take it. Shoot, I'll take it. And nobody's saying you get rid of all the young guys. You're still gonna keep some of your young guys there. Nobody's saying get rid of all of them, but at some point, you say, you know what, we got to make some moves to get some guys in here that are established, that we don't have to develop, that can be added to our core of players, so we can get over the top, get over the hump. Sometimes you got to do it that
Our core
way.
is very young. I think 50% of our rotation is 24 and under with hardly any experience, and we trying to be a playoff team every year.
Yeah, you some of them are going to grow up with the team. RJ Barrett has grown up.
How do you explain Memphis then? How do you explain
How
Memphis?
do you explain Memphis? How do you explain
Memphis
Houston?
hasn't been in the.
What they won? What they won?
In Oklahoma City. These are the youngest
They're on the
teams in
verge.
the NBA.
They're on the verge of really making some real noise. All right, forget it. Never mind. All right.
Well, they are because, but listen, they got Ja. They didn't develop. I mean, they developed him, but he came in. He
Ain't
was
that guy.
He was a very good.
They surrounded him with some young players. And they're gelling with him.
What about Houston? What about Oklahoma City?
Again, they have no direction.
Can I ask you this?
Why? Because they have a lot of.
Because they have no Ja Morant. That's right.
I mean, it happens. It's mad different ways to go about trying to win a championship.
Right.
Okay. All right.
You know, people are always gonna point to the Warriors and Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green. That's cool. They didn't win a championship till Iggy got there. And Iggy was the MVP in the finals. And then, of course, their next two came with Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that they did anything wrong. They did right. They developed some young guys. They got a nice core of young guys. And then they added other free agents to complement those guys. That's how you got to do it. So, you find that core. What I'm going to say is most of the time.
Are we talking about a quick fix here?
No.
Is that what we're talking about?
How can you say you're talking about a quick fix?
Just asking a question.
Kev, how can it be a quick fix when you've been rocking with RJ for 3 years trying to help him develop? You've been rocking with Mitch for 3 years, so for him to develop, 4 years for him to develop.
And I think those are the only two that really developed, right now, and they're still developing.
You got IQ. He's been here for 2 years. Obi's been here for 2 years. These guys are developing. I mean, that's 4 rotation players that are developing, growing up, developing as part of your core.
Right.
Okay. Other than a seasoned veteran, how do you explain Phoenix?
Chris Paul.
Had a good mix too.
And that's what I'm talking about. The seasoned veteran and Chris Paul.
That's how you explain it. Chris Paul.
That's how you do it.
But you still had you still had Devin Booker. You still had
Generation.
still got RJ.
Take Chris Paul off that team, and where are they?
You trying to keep everybody. They got Booker, Ayton, and Mikal, but that's 3 players. 3.
Cam Johnson.
We got 7. We can't keep all of them. That's all I'm saying. We can't keep all of them.
The only one I'm losing is Knox. The other guys, I think, could be a core towards our team.
Like Frank.
My God.
Well, Frank, I mean, come on, man.
That was a low blow.
All right, never mind.
Listen, Drea Marie said Kevin's right. I'm not trading nothing if the player isn't not an all-star. I mean, we're not talking about trading knuckles for knuckles, marbles for marbles. We're talking about trying to upgrade the team. When you talk about cashing in the young players, trying to upgrade the team and get better players. That's what we're talking about.
Right. Cut off some years of development because they've been in the league some.
We get it.
We're gonna keep some. We're gonna keep some, Cap.
We get it, Kev. It's okay.
Put it this way: if we got rid of Obi, and I don't know who else, y'all would probably not lose sleep over it.
I wouldn't lose sleep if we traded anybody on the team. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it, Kev.
Right.
RJ.
I'm not losing sleep over anything about the Knicks. I don't go to bed at night like, oh my God, the Knicks lost. I'm not gonna ever sleep again. I'm not gonna wake up hungry because the Knicks lost or whatever happens. I like the Knicks. I love the Knicks. But
But you wouldn't say things that make you go, If they
Kevin going to fasting protest. He's not going to eat for like 30 days. Never mind.
I'll save everything for my show. All right, cool.
Okay, we just messing with you, man. But
no, but the cat's going crazy, so
Well, the good thing is
supporting
we
you.
won.
Supporting you, Kev.
We 500.
They ain't supporting me. I got one dude's saying, Kevin Buggin and all this other, crap and everything. But okay. All right.
I seen 2 people say you right. 2 people.
I think some people say you're right.
I saw that too.
Yeah. We get it. We're just saying.
But the other 80% is like, I don't know what I'm talking about.
You got to give up something, Kev.
Yeah, you got to give up something. We
everybody.
want to get better. You're not trying to give up everybody, but we want to get better. So sometimes you got to give up somebody to get better. Would you trade R.J. Barrett for, I don't know,
Brandon Ingram?
No,
You lying.
I wouldn't. I'm telling you, I
lying.
would not.
I think you're lying.
I'm telling you, RJ, no.
I mean, I love R.J. Barrett. Would you trade him for my man up there in Boston?
Jaylen
Tatum
Brown.
Tatum. Jason
Brown.
Tatum or
Tatum?
Jason
Or Jaylen
Tatum.
Brown.
Would you trade him for Jason Tatum?
No, because I think
Oh, my
RJ's.
God.
I think RJ's going to have a better career than those guys. I really do.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Cornerstone cash strikes again.
Cornerstone. He's had 5 straight games. If you have, I mean, you don't. We don't know if that's going to continue.
so
We
that's
hope
that-
so, or if it's going to drop off. You get an
Well,
opportunity
with you
to get.
saying with you saying that makes me think that you don't think it's going to happen, that it's going to continue. Yet you have
What
that
I'm
said
saying,
it's going to continue.
I'm
I'm
saying,
saying even if it does
can.
continue, he still ain't no Jason Tatum. How about that? There you go. Even if it does continue, he not that dude. Not Tatum.
Okay, all I'm trying to say to you is that for every person, no matter who it is, it's somebody that you would be like, yeah, I would trade him for that guy.
For any,
For anybody.
everybody has a price.
Yeah, it's a price for everybody. So, it's all right. And we're not trying to sit here and trade RJ. He's playing great for us, and we want him to be part of the future. I just brought that up. Everybody is a price that you would trade anybody in the league for the right price.
And right now, I'm not saying that RJ is better than Tatum right now. Of course not. That's ridiculous. But I'm saying further down, I think he could be just as good as Tatum.
You think? So you're going to give up on a sure thing because he might?
No, scratch that. I know he'll be better than Tatum. All right.
Oh,
I know.
wow.
Well, you got a crystal ball.
Okay. All right. So
You got
there
a crystal ball somewhere hidden.
Yeah. All right. Next thing.
Just
Next
messing with you,
thing.
Cat. Anyway.
Next thing.
All right.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Let's go ahead. Josh, you're going down to the Atlanta game on Saturday. Let's talk a little bit about that game. What do you expect from the Knicks versus Atlanta? In Atlanta, the Hawks aren't playing very well right now. I think they lost tonight, right?
Shot poorly.
Yeah.
Shot terribly.
Yeah. What do you expect?
111 to 90 something.
Yeah. What do you expect from that game?
Well, I expect, RJ to, last time he was in Atlanta, well, not the last time, but in the playoffs, we didn't have that good of a series, him nor Randle. I think with RJ coming into his own now and starting to step into that role, I expect him to have a really good game against Atlanta, right? I expect, the Knicks to continue doing what they're doing, Fournier getting that shot off the curl and knocking it down. If the Knicks are going to shoot the ball like this today, I don't think it's going to be hard for any team to beat them. But really, our biggest, weakness as far as Atlanta's concerned is Trae Young and how we're going to defend the pick and roll. So I'm really interested to see Mitchell Robinson in this game. Having Mitch out there, let's see if it actually makes a difference. If we can be able to defend the pick and roll with Trae and Capella and all those guys, because we know it's deadly, and then Collins and everything like that. So I'm just looking for the Knicks to play better defense, and let's see if we can hold Atlanta to under 90. I think that'll be a good thing for us.
Yeah.
I think we'll win.
It would be. Cornerstone, what's your thoughts on that game?
It's muted.
You're muted, Cornerstone. You're muted.
Just trying to follow what you're saying, with this being, having feedback and everything. So that's what I'm trying to mute. That's why I was muted. I think we'll win the game. Atlanta's really puzzling because this was a team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals. What happened to that team, to this year? They had everybody come back, and they had Cam Reddish, playing, for him and everything. What's so different? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. So that's the reason why I think, that, we can win. My only thing is we swept them last year, and then they, beat us in the playoffs. So I'm not taking this, the regular season, for granted. So
yeah,
that's when.
I mean,
I don't. everyone talks about us being, what happened to us. I'm wondering about what happened to Atlanta.
This year, you talking
Why?
about? Yeah, I mean, listen, Atlanta, they're struggling this year, no doubt about it. But you better believe, they're 17-23 on the season. We were just 4 games below 500, a couple of weeks ago. So they can come back as well. You know what I mean? And we don't want it to start against us. So we got to go down there, try to put the clamps on them. We've beat them twice. They're not trying to hear that. They don't want to lose to a team 3 times in a row. They're going to try to come off and get a win. We got to be prepared for it. We got to be ready. You know what I mean? Tony, what's your take on that game?
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough. I think about it psychologically. We beat them 4 times last year, like Kev pointed out. And if they were winning right now, if they had a winning record, or if they were somewhere high in the standings, I think that the game wouldn't mean anything to them. But the fact that they're losing, they're underachieving. The fact that they gentlemen swept us in the playoffs. The fact that they they're gonna get up for this game. They want to turn it around. They feel like they could beat us. It's gonna be a tough one. Hopefully, we bring that same energy, keep the same energy we've been playing with as of late, and I think we could do it for sure.
Yeah,
but I think it'll be tough. Close.
It's going to be tough. Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough because they're probably looking at us as a team. Yeah, this is a winnable game. This is a team we can beat. You know what I mean? It's the same way that we're looking at them, and they're trying to get off the schneid. You know what I mean? Because right now they probably feel like things are starting to slip. So, yeah, they're looking at the Knicks and saying we need to get this win. Steph, your thoughts on that game?
I'm looking forward to it because I want to see where we at in terms of guarding Trae Young, guarding, an elusive guard like that who knows how to play well in a pick and roll. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a challenge for us. I don't think it's going to be an easy game, even though we've kind of hit our stride. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, and did I see somebody? Yeah, the Hawks, they played Miami tonight. They will actually be in Miami on Friday and then back home to play us on Saturday. So they'll be on the second leg of a back-to-back.
Oh, we gotta win that.
Yeah.
They're on the home and home?
Yeah, home and home with the Miami Heat. So that's going to be.
So they have a potential to go 0-3 if we win.
They do. I mean, it's going to be a battle against the Miami Heat. We already know that. That's going to be a battle. That's going to be physical.
He's
back.
He is back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Butler's out for Miami, though.
And I think Josh made a good point. I think this is a great time to see what Mitchell brings against them. Defensively, offensively, keep this double-double trend going. Because he wasn't available, we haven't seen it. Since the regular season.
Yeah.
And also, what was it? I lost it. I'm sorry.
Well,
but they got a lot of their bigs are out too.
But Atlanta, don't forget, they went on a just as good, if not better, streak going into the second half of the season last year as well.
Yeah.
So let's not sleep on that aspect.
No doubt. Nikki B from Harlem, he says the Knicks got to come out swinging. Atlanta has no real home court advantage. We need Knicks fans to show up, show out in ATL. Yeah, that's without a doubt. Without a doubt. Josh,
during that playoff game, it was like 60-40 Atlanta fans. They had some people show up, and people were telling me this is the first time I've seen a Hawk Stadium packed since Dominique was playing. That's what they were telling me. I was like, wow, he take free tickets and everything. I was like, I'll be there, right behind the Knicks bench.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta push it forward, Kev. I mean, Josh, I said Kev. You gotta push it forward, Josh. I'm saying you lead the charge of Knicks fans down there. Make sure we in the building. Make sure we out. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to head out of here tonight. It's almost midnight. I got to get some rest. I got to get up early tomorrow. Head to Oh, you can't leave yet. Can we get some last words or something like that? He's mad at us, chat. He's mad at us, chat.
Boy, bye.
Hollywood Kev, crossover Kev, Cornerstone Kev, whatever you want to call him. He's mad at us. Can we at least get your last words before you go? Can we at least do that?
Yes, we can do that.
Okay, all right. Listen, tomorrow I will not be doing a shoot around. I got an early basketball game, so I'll be heading out, early in the day, get to the basketball game. Maybe later on in the evening, I'll be able to jump on and do a show. And, it's going to be my luck that, the Knicks make a trade or something tomorrow. That always happens to me. I guarantee it. Something will happen.
Can you put me in the game? No, that's right. You're coaching girls. I'm sorry. Never mind.
No, your body language is bad. You got bad body language. Can't put you in the game. You got bad body language. Steph, you get some last words?
The Knicks are turning it around. I hope we go on a little run. We're doing it, without a point guard per se. So that's encouraging. Everybody is involved. Players are hitting shots and playing up to their potential. So the Knicks, have an opportunity to go on a little run, even though a tough stretch is coming up. So hopefully we can get the next few.
Yeah, that stretch is coming up. That's why it's important to get these winnable games right here. Not to say those games aren't winnable, but these are more winnable. Tony?
Yeah, great show, great win, great day. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the panel. Sim, keep doing your thing. Go Black is time.
No doubt. Josh?
Great victory. I just want to say that, I know RJ Barrett's starting to come into his own. We can see this consistently. And I need people to understand that it's not a battle between Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. It's not a segment of fans that only root for RJ and a segment of fans that only root for Randle. At least I hope it's not like that. These two guys need each other to play well. And I'm convinced that Randle helps RJ get to the level he needs to be, because when Randle's on the floor, he's able to draw those double teams. It takes less pressure off RJ, and RJ's now starting to step into that role. Okay, so Randle is very, very important to this team. Don't y'all forget it. And bing bong.
Yeah, no doubt. And Kev.
Oh, just Kev. I like that. Just Kev.
Somebody in the chat said body language, Kev. Who said that? Sean currently said body language, Kev. You got all kinds of nicknames going on.
Yes, I do. Well, again, it was great to be with y'all tonight, as usual. Salute to all my haters in the chat. And that's what I call them. Sim is saying my Steelers will win, and then when they do, you're going to owe me a big apology. Great win tonight. Again, I'm loving what I'm seeing from RJ. I think I mentioned earlier that 5 games is like a sample size, and I don't think I need to see any more, because I think he's on a trajectory to go up and everything. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of him. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of the team too, and I don't expect nothing but a win come this Saturday against the Hawks.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it. That'll be if we win Saturday, it'll be our 3rd win in a row, and it'll be we've won 8 of 12. It'll be 9 of 13 or something like that. So
it'll be a game above 500.
And a game above 500, no doubt. So let's do it. Let's go get it, man. Ladies and gentlemen.
And like you said, real quick. All
right, cut off Kev.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, co-host cut off Kev.
But it's what you said. We got to get these wins, because come January 25th, it's all uphill for from here on out. Because I saw that schedule. That schedule was brutal.
It's tough. It's rough. It actually starts on the 23rd with the Clippers, but the Clippers right now, they might be in a little bit of flux. Paul George, I don't think he's coming back. Kawhi Leonard, so they're having a tough go at it right now. You know what I mean? But that date is going to be tough. We got to get these wins while we can. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're up out of here. We appreciate your time. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow night. All right, I'm up out of here. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.